Every day, we utilize our environment around us. In order to survive, we must breathe and we must eat and drink. Our dependency on the resources in this world is extremely apparent. So it should be obvious that we should be protecting our surrounding ecosystems in order for us to utilize and preserve those resources. If we care about the health and well-being of ourselves and each other, and if we truly desire the best for future generations, then we ought to be taking concrete steps to ensure the protection of our environment. And today, we in Denver and across the world are facing an environmental challenge greater than ever before. According to the United Nations, the rate of environmental damage is increasing across the planet. And in America, EPA statistics published in 2016, show that our ecosystems across this country are suffering. And American health and wellness is at risk due to significant decline in our air and water quality over the past 40 years. Last week, a study published October 19, 2017, in the Lancet Medical Journal suggests that 1 in 6 people will die from polluted-related illnesses, and 9 million people are dying annually due to pollution. This research was carried out by around 40 international scientists using data from the Global Bureau of Disease Study and from the Institute of Health Metrics and Evaluation at the University of Washington. And on top of this, climate change continues to pose a challenge that demands immediate action. So if we ever hope to preserve our world for future generations, or at least prolong humanity, we desperately need to be taking action to protect the environment in which we live. For decades, the Environmental Protection Agency has helped to serve as the foundation upon which environmentalism in America rests. According to EPA.gov, the agency states that they protect ponds, rivers, streams, oceans, and the air we breathe from man-made toxins and pollution. We relied on this government organization for regulating what ought to be emitted into our air and water supplies. However, policy changes in our government and executive orders have hindered this organization's abilities, with a lack of funding, leadership that denies scientific claims, and little emphasis on environmental action. This organization can no longer provide us with the same kind of protection they have before. More than ever, we as individuals need to be picking up the slack. Due to the dismantling of the EPA, the abandonment of various environmental treaties and coalitions, and the absence of our government's role in environmental protection, we can no longer let our officials take action for us. We need to demonstrate, we need to get active, people power. Al Gore, former vice president and climate change specialist, emphasized the importance of local activism as he spoke during the Climate Reality Leadership Corps training at the Colorado Convention Center, March 2nd, 2017. Gore urged us, the people of Denver, to mobilize and get active. When it comes to the environmental protection, we aren't doing enough as individuals. We need to be doing more to truly make an impact. However, in an article published in the Denver Post, Al Gore contended, "We are winning. We are going to win. Large numbers of passionate grassroots activists can make all the difference." As long as we continue this fight to defend the environment, and as individuals take steps to recycle and pick up litter and get involved with the political process so that the policy speaks for us, this fight might be winnable. And this fight is only winnable if we can commit to protecting the ecosystems around us by actually doing something to change the way we live. Thinking globally and acting locally is the mechanism by which we should pick up the slack left by our government. It may seem impossible that the average person can make such an impact. However, if we look to the UN Sustainable Development Council, they state that every human on Earth, even the most indifferent among us, is part of the solution. Fortunately, UN.org also provides a list of some things that we can do to make an impact. Saving electricity by unplugging your appliances when you're not using them. Speaking up and asking your local and national authorities to engage in initiatives that don't harm people or the environment. Turning lights off around the house when you don't need them. Don't print. See something online that you want to remember? Just write it down in a notebook, or better yet, use a digital post-it note and spare the paper. Do a little bit of research online and buy only from companies that you know have sustainable practices and don't harm the environment. The list goes on and on with easy ways that we can be more eco-friendly. If you want to know more, just go to UN.org and search global goals. There's so much that we can be doing locally to address the issues of this growing importance that the longer we wait, will become more and more critical. And it is starting to become clear that if we don't act now, it might be too late to reverse the dangerous and detrimental impacts that we have caused.